Tennessee. Alabama beat Southern Mississippi 24-13.
Maximized early. His kick attempt was blocked by the Volunteers. Chris White, and Tennessee takes over the Ole Miss 38-yard line. And that whole thing resulted in Steve Henderson going over from 2 yards out to put the Johnny Majors team in front 7-0. Mississippi did tie the game on a Sean Sykes run from the 1-yard line, but from then on in it was all Tennessee. Freshman quarterback Jeff Francis to Tim Hendricks for the touchdown that made it 17-7, and Tennessee rolled 34-7. Mississippi.
Lots more.
At that. But there's a much bigger prize awaiting Tennessee, the SEC championship and a berth in the Sugar Bowl.
We can control our own destiny. If we win the next 2 ball games, we will be in the bowl that we want to go to.
When Tennessee lost starting quarterback Tony Robinson, many lost hope. But Darrell Dickey has stepped in and led Tennessee to 5 straight wins.
Dickey has completed exactly his percentage completion is 63.9, I think, and Robson's 63.4 when he got hurt. So Dickey has gained experience, he's gained confidence, and I think he's doing a great job of running their offense right now.
Very good. You win championships with defense and specialty teams. That being the case, you have to love Tennessee. Most schools want their defense off the field, not Tennessee. The Vols' defense time and time again has set the tempo for a victory. And Carlos Revez, whose brother kicks for the Miami Dolphins, is second only to Bo Jackson in the SEC scoring race. A year ago, Kentucky upset Tennessee, but this Kentucky team is not as good, and this Tennessee team is better. Despite losing to Brigham Young, as we predicted,
It's the 60th annual Beer Barrel Game, a storied SEC rivalry. But this year, Kentucky and Tennessee have even more on the line. The Volunteers continued their run for the conference title last week against Ole Miss as quarterback Darrell Dickey led a crushing 34-14 rout of the Rebels. But the road to the Sugar Bowl may contain a Wildcat ambush. A year ago, Jerry Claiborne's team pulled off the upset as they used a tireless defense to stop the Volunteers 17-12. Despite a disappointing record in '85, the Wildcats still have plenty of fight, as the Florida Gators discovered last week Kentucky limited Florida to only 15 points. Freshman running back Ivy Joe Hunter's 2 touchdown runs had Kentucky on top until the final seconds. And today, the Cats are back home awaiting the challenge of the Volunteers. Coming up next, a sweet battle for the Sugar Bowl. Tennessee versus Kentucky.
The Sugar Bowl against one of their toughest traditional rivals, the Kentucky Wildcats. Brought to you by Buick and your Buick dealers. For comfort, innovation, and a real commitment to quality, it's today's Buick. And by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Commonwealth Stadium, Lexington, Kentucky. Crystal clear blue skies. It's 43 degrees. A great day for college football. Hi, everybody. This is Bob Neal along with Tim Foley. And today, the Tennessee Volunteers continue their run, they hope, toward the Sugar Bowl. And Tim, the Tennessee Volunteers had every chance in the world to fold up their tents when they lost Tony Robinson back against Alabama. But the offense particularly has really risen to the occasion behind Darrell Dickey, and particularly, I think, a spark in Tim McGee.
There's no question about it. At the beginning of the year, they were very dependent on Tony Robinson. But now with the emergence of Darrell Dickey, he's a 5th-year senior doing a great job, and he's got this young man to throw the ball to, Tim McGee, the only legitimate first-round draft choice on this Tennessee football team. And he can hurt you deep. They try to get the ball to him as often as they can. And their running game has really come along, too. Jeff Powell will be starting this afternoon, and Keith Davis will see a lot of action.
And this defensive team has become, it was a no-name team that's becoming a name team with Hovanek and Miller and Ziegler and Jones and Chris White at safety. They've really come along.
They've come a long way from last year. Ken Donahue has done a great job in coordinating the defense, and they've got some real superstars. Chris White has hung around for 4 years as a backup, and now he's leading the nation in interception, blocked a punt last week, and he just kind of exemplifies the intensity that this defense plays with. They do a couple of things to confuse the offense that we'll talk about during the broadcast.
Reminds me of a young man I saw play at the Miami Dolphins by the name of Tim Foley a little bit, too. That's one of the reasons I like him so much. Let's talk about Kentucky. The Wildcats 5-5, but this is their bowl game. Tennessee Volunteers here in Lexington. Bill Ransdell is hurt again, sore knee this time.
I tell you what, Bill Ransdell has a sore everything. He's got a sore back. His knee is the major problem. It's going to limit his mobility this afternoon. But Kentucky's going to stay in this game as they've stayed in most games throughout the last 3 years on defense. They've got some seniors here, Mazza, Williams, Harrison, Dumbaugh, playing in their last game as Kentucky Wildcats, and they'll be tough. They're grass grabbers. They're little, but they're going to fight Tennessee to the end.
As we said last year, Kentucky can't beat anybody on paper, but they don't play it on paper. Another significant statistic that'll be meaningful in this game is turnover ratio. The teams that win have a good turnover ratio. Tennessee leads the nation, plus 16. The Wildcats are third in the conference with plus 11. Also, the kicking game could play a role today. The number 1 and 2 field goal kickers in the SEC are Worley for Kentucky and Reveiz for Tennessee. And after these messages, we're going to continue with Super Football Saturday back at our studios in Atlanta.
Season for others, of course, the bowl bid is in the offing. We'll have those at 6 o'clock Eastern time tonight. Tennessee and Kentucky are playing for an old, battered beer barrel, empty at that. But for Tennessee, the stakes are even higher. They have a chance to win the SEC title and go to the Sugar Bowl. Colorado State, Miami is our game later.
Their choice on kicking or receiving till the second half, and there are the receivers for Kentucky. On the right side of your screen, number 4, Cornell Burbage, a wide receiver, and number 25 on the left side, Mark Logan, who's the running back and the leading kickoff returner. He averages 14 yards per kickoff return. It is Logan at the goal line. And out of bounds at the 26-yard line. And now Bill Ransdell will lead the Kentucky Wildcats into battle. Bill playing on a sore knee. Earlier this year, cracked, and they've been playing together all year long. And Joe Curry, a freshman, starting at tight end because the normal starter, Mark Wheeler, has cracked ribs for Kentucky. First down 10 from the 27-yard line. Here's a hand fumble. Tennessee football at the 29-yard line. Mark Logan bobbled it on the draw, and Tennessee takes over, and the man with the ball, Chris White.
Watch it again. They're starting off with a draw because of Ransdell's immobility. The ball just pops out. Nobody knocks it out, and the ubiquitous Chris White is on top of the football, and just that kid's having a remarkable... I think he's got a magnet in his jersey that attracts leather. What do you think?
It attracts big words, like ubiquitous. I love that one. First down 10, yes. Tennessee handing off to the fullback. To the 26-yard line goes 43, Sam Henderson. Here's Tennessee's offense, Daryl Dickey. And you see Powell and Miller were scheduled to start, but Henderson started at fullback instead of Miller. Swanson McGee, the wide receivers. The offensive line, Douglas Galbraith, Kirk Bruin, Wilkerson, a potential All-American, and Jeff Smith, the tight end, who could play a big role in this game and who certainly played a big role in Tennessee's victory over Ole Miss last week. For the University of Tennessee Vols, a big turnover on the first offensive play from the line of scrimmage for Kentucky. Chris White recovered the fumble at second down 7 from the 26 of the Wildcats. Opening moments of play in a sunny but cold Lexington, Kentucky. Out of the tailback position comes Sam Henderson now. John Dumbold with the tackle. So we'll just keep checking on that Tennessee offense. They're making a lot of changes. How was that, Tim?
Well, try 3D.
Oh, 3D.
That'd be better.
I knew I'd mess up. I should leave that 3D. Third down 6 on the 26. Daryl Dickey, first pass of the game. Got a lot of time to throw it. It's almost picked off by number 2, Brian Williams, intended for Jeff Powell.
Well, one of the things that Terry Strock
is number 1 in the SEC in field goal kicking, number 2 in the country, and is 7 out of 8 from this distance. This will be a 42-yarder from the left hash mark. Reveiz hits it well. It's good, and thanks to the Kentucky fumble and the recovery by Chris White and the 42-yard field goal by Carlos Reveiz, Tennessee leads 3-0. This is Super Football Saturday on Turner Network Television. They can upset the Vols today, and for the first time in 30 years, Kentucky could have 3 winning years in a row. You also got to look at Johnny Majors on the sideline. The Reveiz kickoff out of bounds at the 9-yard line. That'll be a penalty against Tennessee, and they'll move it back 5 yards and kick it again. And there's Johnny Majors. What a job he's done. He says he's more proud of this team than any he's ever coached in the way that they've come back after that devastating loss to Tony Robinson.
I remember last year after the Auburn game, Tennessee was having its problems. They were decimated by injuries on defense last year. They had 3 great linemen in 83 that played every game for Tennessee. Had a great defense. They led the SEC in every statistical category. And then in 84, they just had a real difficult time, a lot of injuries, but they came back at the end of the year. And Major's comment was that sometimes he coaches best and is best as a head coach under adversity, and that's what he's had to face this year with the loss of Tony Robinson.
Well, the defense has really stepped in there and led the way for the University of Tennessee. And that takeaway, turnover, and takeaway category that we talked about, this kickoff's going to go out of the end zone. It'll come out from the 20 as a touchback for Kentucky. Has played a big role in every game for Tennessee, and it's already played a role here, giving them the 3-point lead as Kentucky fumbled. Number 25, Logan, fumbled on his first carry. Chris White fell on it. We got a 42-yard field goal out of it.
Yeah, and Bob, it's important. Turnovers, no doubt about it, they're important, but what you do with the turnover is also important. We've seen some teams, the defense has given the offense the ball in good field position, and they've done nothing with it. Tennessee seems to draw some points out of every turnover.
You look at those 11 defensive players. They've named this team in a contest the Orange Crunch. Here comes Logan. They tried to rake it away again, but this time Logan goes for 15, maybe 16 yards out to the 36-yard line. Harry Brown and Charles Davis combined turning kickoffs, and he swaps time with number 22, Mark Higgs. Mark Logan, Mark Higgs, and of course they call them the Mark Brothers, and there is Higgs. He's got plenty of running room. Out to the 46-yard line, another Kentucky first down. Tommy Sims with 5 touchdowns on the year. End around, that's Cornell Burbage, number 4. Tennessee pursuing, he's breaking tackles finally. 45, Miller knocks him out of bounds. They're going to give him a gain on the play of only a couple of yards. It never developed, and there are penalty markers down. Clipping.
Vernon Johnson, number 76, is out there. You see him throwing there on Dale Jones. Gets in behind him, and they call that a clip.
And it's going to move it way back for Kentucky. Here's Jimmy Harper, the referee, with the signal. Our referee does not have a microphone today. They'll spot the ball at the 24-yard line. Tennessee sideline. Volunteers lead 3-0. 12 minutes, 13 seconds remaining. Quarter number 1. From Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. First down, 32 yards to go for Kentucky, thanks to the clipping call. And a slot right formation. And off to Higgs. Up past the 30. Tim, very difficult to overcome a 1st and 32 situation. Gives Tennessee's defense a chance to really tee off.
Yeah, it does. It just, you play a lot more conservatively on defense, and you've got a long way to go. 2nd and long, you can expect a play pass. They may try to get it over at the top on 2nd down. One thing you don't want to be doing back at this time of a football game when you're behind 3-0 is be throwing the ball 3rd and long down in this area of the field.
We have Bryant, Jones, and Curry, the receivers for Kentucky. 19 is Bryant, 17 Jones. Here's Ransford to throw. Has some time, right down the middle. He hit Jones out near the 50-yard line. They'll spot it at the 48.5-yard line. He was hit by Chris White. He is still about 7 or 8 yards short of the first down. That was a 19-yard gain.
Keep in mind that the flanker Jones is a quarterback.
This is 3rd down 8 from the 48. 5 defensive backs in there for Tennessee. Ransel all day to throw. It is complete, and it's close to a first down. It was Logan, the leading receiver on this team. Let's see where they spot the ball. I believe Kentucky may have overcome the first down 32 and picked up a first down. They're going to bring the sticks into measure. Very close. Tennessee leads 3-0 on a 42-yard Carlos Reves field goal after Logan fumbled the first play from the line of scrimmage of the afternoon.
To help them in terms of their confidence and their expectations.
Higgs and Weary in the backfield. It's Higgs for about 3 near the 40-yard line. He was tripped up by 65, Robbie Scott. It is Scott, Cooper, and Hovanek on that Tennessee defensive front right now. Richard Brown will be playing a lot in there also for Tennessee. He was 0-10 his first year, and then he turned things around. 2nd down and 8. Higgs to the 37-yard line, and down he goes. Gain of about 3. Darren Miller with the stop, his 2nd tackle of the afternoon for Tennessee. Miller and Ziegler tough in the middle for the Volunteers.
I think Ken Lang is in there at center for Kentucky. Petrowiak has really been banged up these last couple of weeks. He struggled through the last couple of games, but they're trying to give him some rest. And young Ken Lang in there at center right now.
Conversion situation. 3rd down 3 from the 37 for the Wildcats. Ramsdell wants to throw. Has his man there. It's complete. The number 83, Eric Pitts. He's out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. And Kentucky on the drive. They started at their 20-yard line.
Tennessee secondary, because they do a fine job.
Kentucky, 1st down 10 from the 24-yard line where they spot the ball. Here's Higgs, hit in the backfield, breaking his tackle. Down he goes at the 22. Only a couple that time for Mark Higgs, the sophomore.
Mark Hovanek, the young man that had a great game last week against Mississippi, disrupted the timing of that play. He beat the block of Dermontti Dawson.
They've got Petroviak back in there at center now for Kentucky. As we told you, Johnson, Dawson, Petroviak, Reichwein all playing with one kind of injury or another for the Kentucky offensive line. 2nd down 8 from the 22. Here's Higgs again. Just inside the 20, maybe to the 19-yard line. He stopped there. That Tennessee defensive team now with their backs closer to the wall than they would like.
Inside.
3rd down 5 from the 19, the 11th play of this drive for the Kentucky Wildcats. Ramsdell obviously checking off to the Tennessee defensive alignment. Wants to throw. 5-man rush. Down he goes. Coming in from the right side is number 7, Chris White. The senior from Cleveland, Tennessee, who's had himself, in my opinion, an all-American caliber year. He probably won't be named on the teams, but he's played that well.
There's no question about it. Now watch this. Ramsdell looking for Pitts on the right side. Back to the strong side flanker at Burbage. But a good job of coverage on the outside by McDaniel and Brown, and there was nowhere to go with the ball.
Here's Worley attempting a 44-yard field goal. Worley 19 out of 27 on the year. He's a good kicker, number 2 in the league. He hooks it wide to the left side. It is no good. Tennessee continues to lead 3-0 with 6 minutes, 57 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And Bill Ransdell, the Kentucky quarterback, limped off the field after that sack. Central Kentucky, 43 degrees at kickoff here this afternoon. As you can see, beautiful blue skies. Nippy weather, but a good day for football. Tennessee leading 3-0, 6:57 to go in the first quarter. And off to the tailback. Out to the 36-yard line goes number 21, Jeff Powell, a senior from Nashville. And, Tim, what a story that young man is. He's a walk-on. This was his first and last year at Tennessee. Walked on from William & Mary. Came to Tennessee to run track. Johnny Major said he had that look in his eye. So I wanted to see. Johnny's big on the look in the eye. And he said, I want to see how he could play football. And here he is starting for Tennessee. 2nd down 1 from the 36. Now big Sam Henderson with the 1st down for the Volunteers. Gets it by about a yard. Out near the 39-yard line.
It's been a while since Johnny Major's Tennessee Vols have been in the SEC race at this particular point in the Sugar Bowl chase, and they're odds-on favorite at this point, and the idea is to just not let them get complacent against teams like Kentucky and against Vanderbilt.
1st and 10 from the 39. Dickey, all kinds of time to throw. Now got a lot of pressure on him. Throwing on the run, incomplete. Out there at the 46-yard line. Intended for Tim McGee. He was being chased by Tom Wilkins. Good coverage. Let's see if he was looking for Clinkscales, I think, his primary target here, Tim.
Clinkscales is going down the outside here. They're running 3 deep. The fact that you alluded to it 2 deep early on in the broadcast, I think is indicative of what Kentucky plays a lot. That was a 2 deep zone. They were trying to get Smith down the middle. You remember he made a great catch against Mississippi last year in that last week in that same situation.
Now Swanson, McGee, and Clinkscales in on a 2nd down 10. But they hand it off out of the backfield anyway. Look at that tailback run. Jeff Powell. He was impressive in the second half last week against Ole Miss. A 12-yard ramble by Jeff Powell that time. He's only 5'10 and 170, but remember, he is a trackster. This man is fast, and he has very quick feet. That's what Johnny Majors likes so much about him.
You know, what's amazing is how fate plays a part in so many people's careers. It's just like Chris White. Chris White probably still would have been 2nd string if it weren't for an injury to Charles Davis in the preseason that forced him to play in the first game, and he had 3 interceptions. Now Powell here's running away.
First and 10 from the 49. Keith Davis comes in for Powell now. Davis, the freshman from Nashville, who's Tennessee's leading rusher, who's been banged up. That was Henderson carrying the ball, but Davis comes in, and he'll play a little bit this afternoon. Sam Henderson played tailback last week against Ole Miss and did a good job. Johnny Major said Henderson had played the last 2 games since Memphis State and Ole Miss were the best he played since he hurt his knee last year. Now we continue rotating backs in the backfield for Tennessee. Charles Wilson comes in. He's normally a tailback. He's in at the fullback position. Keith Davis, 28, is the tailback. Wilson's 32. Dickey with the fake. Throwing on the run. It is complete to the 44-yard line to 32, Charles Wilson. Also a sophomore from Pritchard, Alabama. Wilson playing with an injured shoulder.
Good job that time by the Kentucky defense. They ran Clinkscales deep down the sideline, and they ran McGee on a sideline and up pattern. They were looking to hit him up about 15 yards up along the sideline, but Kentucky did a nice job of holding it off and then reacted well to the ball thrown up short.
3rd down 5 from the 44. Now it is 21 Powell and 32 Wilson in the Tennessee backfield. 3 wideouts in the ball game for the Volunteers. McGee in motion. Here comes the blitz. Down goes Dickey at the 45-yard line. Number 45, freshman Christian Alt with the sack. He's playing with a sore hamstring.
Sitting himself down.
Here is Jim Asman, a junior punter, punting in place of normally the punter Bob Garman to Brian Williams. And down Williams goes at the 23-yard line. Bob Garman hurt his leg, Tennessee's punter, practicing backup kickoffs, and they've had to call Asman into duty. We'll be back in a moment. This is Turner Network Television. Big orange in his teeth. Oh, my. Kentucky opened the basketball season here last night, so these people just left Rupp Arena and came right straight to the football stadium. Out to the 28-yard line goes 22 Mark Higgs. Richard Brown with the tackle for Tennessee. The Kentucky Wildcats basketball team beating Northwestern down 6 from the 28. Kentucky football. A lot of pre-snap motion there by the Wildcats. 2:48 to go first quarter. Tennessee leading 3-0. Higgs scrambles out to about the 32.5, 33-yard line. 4th tackle of the afternoon for Darren Miller for the Volunteers. And somebody's down on the field out there for the Kentucky Wildcats. I believe it's Brad Myers. And Jerry goes in at left guard for Kentucky on a 3rd and 2 from the 32. And Ransdell doesn't like the look of this Tennessee defensive lineman and calls time out to come to the sideline. Now I think we've got Dermontti Dawson at one guard and Joe Prince at the other here for Kentucky. There's going to be a lot of movement in that Kentucky line because everybody's playing a little bit nicked up. Next week on Turner Broadcasting, we will either have the Auburn-Alabama game from Birmingham or Vanderbilt at Tennessee at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. And we'll let you know how that turns out, depending a great deal on what happens in the ball games today. Tennessee on their road, they hope to the Sugar Bowl. And, of course, that Auburn-Alabama game, always a great matchup.
Tennessee plays so many defensive backs, and they play them in different positions that it sometimes confuses the quarterback's read. Chris White, who's playing strong safety, and you usually read the weak safety to the strong safety, sometimes plays weak side linebacker and sometimes plays an interior linebacker in their long yardage situation. So it has a tendency to cause some doubt in the mind of the quarterback when he's making audibles and making changes.
Logan, Higgs, and Weary, 3 backs and 2 tight ends for Kentucky on 3rd and 2. Here comes Higgs. He's got the first down. To the 39-yard line comes Mark Higgs. Kelly Ziegler with the tackle. And Higgs getting up close to 50 yards running the ball. About 40 yards, I think, at the moment for young Mark Higgs. 39-yard line. Tennessee leading 3-0. 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Logan. Not much. Maybe a yard to the 40-yard line, and Chris White with his 3rd tackle of the afternoon from strong safety for the Volunteers.
Well, this is a different style of Kentucky offense than we've seen all year long, and I think that the fact they're running the ball indicates that Bill Ransdell's knee is probably worse than most people are aware of. I think he's grabbing all his guts to just take the snap from center.
Ransdell is 3 out of 3 for 39 yards and has become the all-time total offense leader. University of Kentucky, and down he goes again, hit on the knee, too. At the 30-yard line, Mark Hovanek with his second tackle and first sack of the afternoon, and you can see that Bill Ransdell is a hurting cowboy, a hurting Wildcat. He is limping. Got it right on the knee. From coming in from the right side was big Mark Hovanek.
I don't think he's going to be able to maneuver anymore.
He's calling for help, for sure. Calling in the reserves. You know, you've said it several times, Tim. He's like John Wayne. You got to shoot him to stop him.
That's right. He's the John Wayne of course. You can see he's really doesn't have any of his nimbleness that he had previously.
On 3rd down 19. Whoa, he rifled it down the middle looking for Tim Jones. Certainly didn't lose any nimbleness in his arm, but he limps off the field as they fail to convert on 3rd down. You know, that young man will play as long as he can stand up. And in comes Jay Tesser, the freshman punter for the University of Kentucky, trailing Tennessee 3-0, 44 seconds to go, first quarter. And there's Charles Benton back to take the punts for Tennessee. Normally, Andre Kramer does that, defensive back for Tennessee, but he's hurt from last week. Tesser gets away a beauty under pressure. Benton. He gets it to the 40-yard line, and there's Tim Foley's favorite penalty marker. They're going to say that one of the Kentucky players was in that 2-yard zone where Charles Benton was catching the ball. You're supposed to leave him 2 yards of freedom to catch the ball. But, you know, it looked like Benton ran into the zone, Tim.
It did, and that's what makes this sometimes a touchy judgment call. The Kentucky player looked as if though he was trying to pull up, but Benton had to run forward to catch the ball. Really, the Kentucky guy would have had to start backing up to avoid that particular situation.
And you see it right there. They spot the ball at the 40-yard line. First down 10. Here comes Jeff Powell. Great acceleration out of the tailback position to the 46-yard line. Gain of about 5. Let's go to our studios in Atlanta for this college football update. Second down 4 from the 46-yard line now for the Volunteers. Gain of 6 that time by Jeff Powell. Really like that young man's acceleration. And that buzzer ending the first quarter of play, and the officials say it was before the snap. Looked to me after the snap, but not my judgment to make. We'll be back in just a moment, though, where the Tennessee Volunteers are leading Kentucky 3-0 at the end of the first quarter of play. This is Super Football Saturday on Turner Network Television. Buick and your Buick dealers. For comfort, innovation, and a real commitment to quality, it's today's Buick. Well, no scoring in that first quarter with the exception of Tennessee's 42-yard field goal from Carlos Reveiz. On the first play of the afternoon from the line of scrimmage, Mark Logan fumbled for Kentucky. Chris White fell on it. Tennessee's drive stalled, and they got the 3 points, and that's been all the scoring. Jeff Powell inside Kentucky territory. First down Tennessee to the 49-yard line. 97 Scott Stubbs with the stop. There are the first quarter statistics, and you see the Wildcats dominated ball control 9 minutes 20 to 5 minutes 40.
One nice long drive by Kentucky, running the ball right at Tennessee. They're mixing in the play pass, but they've been making most of their yardage on the ground.
All right, now we have 35 William Howard at fullback and Jeff Powell 21 at tailback for the Volunteers. Dickey on the day, 1 out of 3 for only 3 yards. He's going to hand it off again. Gain of about 7 for William Howard to the 41-yard line. Howard, a sophomore from Lima, Ohio. He's playing hurt, too. Howard was injured last week in the game against Ole Miss with a sprained ankle. It's a good thing Tennessee has 7. They have 7 backs, all of whom can play. Davis, Panuska, Wilson, Powell, Miller, Howard, and Henderson, and they've had to use them all. Klink, Scales, and McGee over on the left side. Swanson on the right side. Second down 2 from the 41. And they give it to the big man. Not going to get the first down, I don't believe, though. Spotted on that right hash mark right on the 40-yard line. Powell goes out of there. Now, Henderson and Howard are in the backfield for Tennessee. They also have double tight ends. Here comes Henderson. Look at him break the tackle and get the first down. Whoa. Sam Henderson just popped into the Kentucky defensive player and dived forward for enough for the first down, I believe.
Great job of filling by the Kentucky safety, Russell Hairston, but he found out what 260 pounds of momentum feels like. Wow.
That's giving a ball to a guard out of the backfield.
Their elephant backfield. Howard and Henderson.
There's the man who recovered the fumble, leads the nation in interceptions, Chris White. He recovered a fumble that resulted in a 42-yard field goal and Tennessee's 3-0 lead. First down, 10 Volunteers. Now at the 38-yard line of Kentucky. Dickey. Throws it incomplete and out of bounds down here at the 23-yard line. He was looking for Eric Swanson. These Kentucky
different offensive sets, and because of the fact they're in a free receiver look so much of the time, I don't think they'll quit blitz quite as much.
Here comes Powell. Inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Larry Smith tripping up Jeff Powell. And Powell, the workhorse this afternoon out of the tailback position. That's his 5th carry of the afternoon for now 36 yards. Tennessee's leading rusher, freshman Keith Davis, playing injured, has been in the ball game a time or two, but hasn't really done much this afternoon. And Powell has been primarily the Tennessee ground game workhorse. 2nd and 6 from the 34. Make that 3rd down 6. Dickey to the 32, and down he goes. Needs to get to the 28 for the first down. And that'll bring up 4th down for Tennessee. They're going to spot it, let's see, at the 31.5-yard line. Be about a 48 or 49-yard field goal attempt coming up here by Reveiz.
You're going to see number 2, Brian Williams, working underneath on Tony McGee at the top of your screen. He's the 2nd receiver inside. Breaking open across the middle, but by this time, Dickey had been flushed out of the pocket. That might have been Clinkscales, 87. These Tennessee numbers are awfully hard to see.
You got that right. 49-yard field goal attempt by Reveiz. He had a 42-yarder earlier. Leads the nation. It is good. Carlos Reveiz paying his way this afternoon. Tennessee with a 6-0 lead. 11:02 to go in the 2nd quarter. Field goal, I said he led the nation. He leads the SEC. Carlos Reveiz is number 2 in the nation in field goal kicking and has been all the points on the board today. 6-0 Volunteers. Burbage and Logan are back deep to take the kickoff. Going to get it to Logan at the 3-yard line.
Fumble, Bob.
The ball is loose. Looks like it still belongs to Kentucky, however. Logan fumbled on his first carry from the line of scrimmage. Mike Whitehead, I think, may have fallen on it, but that remained in the possession of Kentucky, and it's right at the 20-yard line. Let's see what happens here, Tim.
Things like this can just kill you in terms of momentum. Kentucky's been playing well. They overcame one fumble early on. A nice job of scraping the ball out, but when the running back gets in traffic like that, he's got to lock that football up.
1st and 10 Kentucky from their own 20-yard line. A lot of pre-snap motion by the Wildcats. Ramsdell to Higgs. Great penetration by Tennessee. And they rule Higgs down at the 19-yard line. Dale Jones will get credit for the stop. Wildcat fans wanted the ruling to be that Higgs was continuing his motion and not down, but his knee did touch while in the grasp of a Volunteer player. Ramsdell's back in there at quarterback, but he's playing on a sore knee. He's been sacked twice thus far this afternoon, and he's limping. 2nd down 11 from the 19 now for the Wildcats. Here's Higgs. Higgs to the 29-yard line. He's about a yard and a half short of
grabbing at that ball, trying to strip it from the running back. If the first man is holding the man up, the second guy in there is not just trying to punish the back. He's going after the football. And I think that that's something that you've got to coach, you've got to talk about. And turnovers was, I think, a big topic of discussion all spring and fall for Ken Donahue and the defensive coaches at Tennessee.
What a job they've done. Tennessee leads the nation in that category. Here's Higgs. First down, Kentucky. They're going to spot him out of bounds just shy of the 35-yard line, I believe. A little difficult to see from our viewpoint here in front of the Kentucky bench. There's the Tennessee sideline, that offensive line. And it is first down. They spot it just shy of the 35-yard line. It'll be at the 34. 9:24 to go first half. Tennessee 6, Kentucky nothing.
So Dave Cutcliffe talking to the Tennessee offensive lineman. We'll talk about that in a second.
Ramsville with an audible at the line of scrimmage on the first down. Logan hit by 45. Darren Miller got 3 or 4, however, out to about the 38-yard line. Darren Miller now with 5 tackles on the afternoon. And there's Kentucky's leading receiver and
innovations that you've got to get clear in the minds of those fellas that have their hand down on the grass.
This is second down 7. This is Logan. He gets the first down out to midfield and inside Volunteer territory. Brian Kimball backfield. Curry, Lucas, Sellers are the receivers for Kentucky. Ransdell with an audible. 1st and 10 right at the 50. They give it to Higgs. Higgs fumbles the ball in front of the Kentucky bench. Let's see who's got it. Tennessee football. Another turnover that was picked up by Tennessee. There's the man with the ball, 77, Richard Cooper. Dale Jones popped that ball out of there, I believe. The big play man for Tennessee. Watch 54.
This is atypical of a Jerry Claiborne coach football team. Darren Miller grabbed it out, and here comes Ziegler. He's got a shot at it, skids away. Chris White not far behind. Chris White is probably saying, hey, Cooper, get out of the way. That's my ball. I'm supposed to do that stuff. That's heroics.
Miller and Jones combining to strip that ball down, and Tennessee has it again. 2 turnovers in this game. That's Keith Davis near the 40-yard line. Keith Davis, the freshman from Nashville, in there. If you look at the Kentucky sideline.
Farrell Sheridan on the left, Jake Hallam on the right, talking to the Kentucky offensive lineman, but theirs is not the problem. Someone needs to get a rubber band around the waist of some of these running backs. Hang on to the football.
It'll be second down 5, Tennessee at the 41. Volunteers lead 6-0. 7:38 to go first half. 2, Carlos Reve's field goals, 42 and 49 yards. Dickey screens it out to the left side. Got the ball there late to McGee, though, and he was hit instantly by number 24, freshman David.
Played it well, had a chance to intercept the ball, but Douglas and Johnson ran into each other. But that was an excellent play by David Johnson on that one.
Here's Keith Davis inside the 40 to the 39. It was 3rd and 7. Tennessee does not convert. Punting situation for the Volunteers here. I believe they're out of field goal range, even for the talented Carlos.
One thing that you always work on, if your punter is hurt, you're going with the backup punter. You're always working on a fake punt in case you need it.
Here's a beauty. This man can punt. It's going to come down inside the 5. Inside the 10. It's going to be spotted at the 6-yard line. Touching it down, number 9, Vince Carter. Good job by the young rookie punter, Jim Asman. Even though he's a junior, he's a rookie. We'll be back in a moment. This is Turner Network Television. Coordinator, even though that's not his title for the Kentucky Wildcats. He had a big game way back in '58. They called him the Pennsylvania pickpocket, Tim. He was quarterback and defensive back. He stripped the ball away from a Tennessee player that led to a Kentucky victory.
So Jerry Eisman in the middle there. He's got a real close relationship with young Bill Ransdell. Chip Garber was on his right, defensive backfield coach for Kentucky.
1st and 10 Wildcats from the 7-yard line after that excellent punt. Kentucky has now run the ball 21 out of 25 times today. That was Mark Logan.
Again, another Kentucky player slow getting up. It looks like Ritchie.
Tom Ritchie, national championship 11 times. Joining the Vols as national champions from the SEC are Alabama 6 times, Ole Miss, LSU, Georgia, and Auburn. Another example of the overall strength of the Southeastern Conference in football.
And that's why we have fun every Saturday afternoon.
You bet. You see Tom Ritchie looks like he's okay, but Sam Rotello's in there right now. Screen to Logan. He's probably sorry he caught that ball. Loss on the play. That's back at the original line of scrimmage, back about the 6-yard line. There's Dale Jones, a junior from Cleveland, Tennessee.
He is everywhere. You talk about Cornelius Bennett of Alabama, Michael Brooks of LSU, both great athletes that make big plays. Now, I don't think Jones looks like those players, probably doesn't have the speed and muscular structure of those players, but he makes the big play game after game after game. So he just gets the job done. Doesn't look like them, but the results are the same.
3rd down 11 from the 6-yard line. And Logan out to about the 11-yard line. Needs to go to the 17 for the first down. Brown and Lavoisier Fisher with the stop. And we'll pause 5 seconds for station identification. Bob Neal and Tim Foley with you from Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. Tennessee 6, Kentucky nothing. 4:39 to go, second quarter. In comes Tesser, averaging 41.7 yards per punt. He's a redshirt freshman from Vine Grove, Kentucky. Good view of that punt, and oh my, not a good punt, but look at the roll. That looks like one of my golf shots. Got more roll than you did ball, but it goes out to the 45-yard line and rolls dead there, and it'll be a 34-yard punt. It only carried a few in the air, though. We'll be back in a moment. Here by Jay Tesser, Tim.
Now you're going to see here his concentration is bothered by a Tennessee player coming around the top. And watch him look up. His right toe should be pointed when he kicks the ball. It's sticking straight up in the air. See that there? Bang, go. See it come straight up, and it just skids off the bottom of his cleats, really. The ball never really got above 3 yards off the ground.
Only 34 yards, and he was lucky to get that. Tennessee has it in Wildcat territory at the 45-yard line of Kentucky. First down 10. Volunteers lead 6-0. 4:20 to go in the first half. A double check off by Dickey. 25-second clock down to 3, 2, and he gets the play off. Jeff Powell just swallowed up in the backfield. Tennessee wasn't sure what they wanted to do on that play. Loss on the play to Jeff Powell of about 3.
Automatics a little bit, not call as many of them.
Second down 14. Powell. Fumble. He fumbled the ball, but the official at this point says it's down, that it was in the possession of Tennessee, and it will remain in the possession of Tennessee as they spot it just outside the 45-yard line. Brian Williams fell on the ball. Let's see, Tim.
And as we've seen this Kentucky defense do, they're just going to fight you all the way. Who gets the stick there? Smith gets the stick, and then Kramer's hanging it. I mean, Williams around the ball, jumps on it.
Very close. Lower left-hand corner, time remaining in the first half. Just over 3 minutes. 3rd down 11, Volunteers. In that pass protection formation now. And the 25-second clock has wound down, and that's going to be a 5-yard delay of game penalty. There you see the 25-second clock. And these Wildcat fans are on their feet at Commonwealth Stadium. Even though Tennessee's leading 6-0, Kentucky's played well here early in this ball game.
You know, you could almost dub this the Winston Churchill defense for Kentucky. The never, never quit kind of style of play that they have. They just are gutty. They're not big enough to play in this league, and most of them, and maybe couldn't play for anybody else. But they just keep coming after you with courage.
3rd down 16. Dickey. It's complete. To the 43-yard line goes Sam Henderson. Really kind of a safety valve pass. Tennessee couldn't get anything going, and they had great opportunity there at the 45-yard line of Kentucky. They started the drive and gained only 2 yards after the penalties and whatnot. And now Tennessee will have to punt the ball away again. 2:30 to go in the first half, and in comes Jim Asman at a 36-yarder and a 34-yarder. But the last one was down. This is going to be another good one. It's going to get inside the 20 also. And it goes out of bounds at the 16-yard line. So Jim Asman doing a pretty good job in a backup role here for Bob Gorman, Tennessee's regular punter who's injured today. This is Super Football Saturday on Turner Network Television.
One of the jobs of a defensive back is to disrupt the route. Look at Brian Williams working on Clinkscale there. McGee faking back to the outside. The route is totally disrupted now. The timing is gone. Now Dickey has to come off his deep receiver if he was looking deep for McGee, and then throw it to Henderson in the flat. Nice job of messing things up. How's that? That's articulate. Come off those big words, Foley. Get down.
Maybe I could be a defensive back if it's messing things up. Here comes Logan. All the way out to the 27-yard line. First down for Kentucky. And Johnny Major's defense has been on that field a long time in this first half.
Well, I think they're probably seeing a little bit more run.
It's open over the middle of Logan. And Logan gets out near the 40 to the 39-yard line, close to a first down again. Matter of fact, it is another first down for Kentucky. And the Wildcats dominating the ball control, but losing in the game 6-0 with 1:47 to go in the first half. Love to be in that Tennessee defensive locker room as they try to adjust at halftime to what Kentucky's doing here. Ransdell breaking away from the sack attempt. Tried to safety valve it out here to Mark Logan at the 43. Ransdell popped down again, and he gets up limping again. You see, he's got that big rib protection. He had a cracked ribs and a collapsed lung earlier in the year. Now a sprained knee.
Keith DeLong really racked him at the line of scrimmage as he dumped that ball off. Kentucky playing for pride in a winning season. Tennessee playing for the Sugar Bowl.
Second down 10 from the 39-yard line. Bryant in motion for the Wildcats. Here comes pressure. Higgs gets it in the backfield, and down he goes at the 28-yard line, and so do penalty markers. Dale Jones, number 54, getting up off the play. Kentucky. Jerry Claiborne.
That's a look of disgust. This play had a chance of being a big play for Kentucky. The ball goes out here to Higgs, and Jones makes it. Petrowiak, they call a clip right there, but if Jones isn't there, that ball goes a long way because Tennessee was just pouring up the gut. There was no one else there. Everyone else was man-to-man coverage running downfield.
Tennessee declined the clip. It's third down 20 from the 29 now for the Wildcats. Here comes Higgs. He has running room. Can he get outside? Yes. Higgs, short of the first down still. He gets it just across the 45 to the 46. Terry McDaniels chasing. We'll see performances by the Tennessee and Kentucky Marching Band. And, of course, the college football scores and highlights from our studios. And there are some, obviously, big games today. Iowa, Minnesota, we'll have highlights of that. Michigan and Ohio State playing at Ann Arbor today. Later, Oklahoma, Nebraska. This time, Tesser gets away a real cannon shot. Not real good hang time. But he gets it back to Charles Benton, who only gets to the 11-yard line. Excellent coverage by the Wildcats. So Tennessee has the ball in a hole with 50 seconds remaining in the half. It'll be first down 10 at the 11-yard line. That was a 51-yard punt by Tesser that time.
Daryl Dickey. The weight of the SEC championship on his shoulders. Just goes to show you, some players, they get unhappy. They're not getting to play enough. They lose their patience. They leave school. They change schools. They do a lot of things, but sometimes that pays off, and there's two cases for Tennessee this year, Daryl Dickey and Chris White. Staying with it.
There's Sam Henderson. Penalty markers are down at the line of scrimmage on the far side of the field. Henderson gets out near the 15-yard line. Tennessee will probably elect to just try to keep that ball on the ground and protect it, and their 6-0 lead here. There's Bill Ransdell. Illegal procedure, Tennessee. We understand that Mark Wheeler was simply shaken up. Maybe we received our postcards about Bo Jackson, but how about Chuck Long? Chuck Long leading Iowa again today. Iowa's already scored one touchdown. They're playing Minnesota. And how about Robbie Bosco?
All good players. And then there's also Coach of the Year, as you see Terry Strock, and we very rarely see him on the sideline, always up in the booth on Jerry Claiborne's right. He's a defensive coordinator for Kentucky. For that title, certainly one of the top 2 or 3 contenders. He's done an excellent job with this Tennessee team. They win their last 2 games and make a good showing in the Sugar Bowl.
Johnny Majors told us a story about his Pitt team in '76. It won the national championship. Johnny Majors said, I may be more proud of this Tennessee team because of he said, frankly, I think it may have a little less talent than that Pitt team. You know, that team lost a quarterback, too. It lost Haygood, then lost Kavanaugh. Music had to come in there and play quarterback. Of course, they did have Tony Dorsett in the backfield. Tennessee on second down 7 from the 16. Clock running down to 34, 33. Kentucky had called one of their timeouts. They have one remaining if they want to use it here to continue to stop the clock. This will be third down, and I think Kentucky is going to stop the clock with 26 seconds remaining, so Tennessee will have an opportunity to run one more play. I doubt Kentucky will have an opportunity to get the ball offensively.
Bill Glazier.
Let's go from a Heisman.
I think so, too. And that offense is designed for a Heisman Trophy candidate with the way they throw the ball, whereas Iowa really has structured an offense around Chuck Long. And again, I think that you got to give points to Long for avoiding the NFL draft and coming back and playing his senior year. And but the front runner is Bo Jackson, an unbelievable athlete when he's in there playing.
And there's Tennessee's clock-watching dog, Smokey. He watches it tick down to triple zeros. That's the end of the first half of play. Tennessee on 2 field goals from revenge. Ever so quickly to near from revenge. Ever so quickly to near 50 degrees. And my Miami friend here, Tim Foley, is bundled up and getting a little better, I think. Trembling a little less than he did in the first quarter. Tim, been a very unusual ball game, a very defensive game. Tennessee 3 out of 6 for only 8 yards passing. They've rushed for only 62. Kentucky 6 out of 8 for only 33 yards. Kentucky's rushed for 109. Tennessee only 1 out of 7 on third down conversion. What's happening to this Tennessee team, and what's Kentucky doing to cause this game to be such as it is?
Well, we've always seen Kentucky play well on defense. Last week, they did a good job of stuffing the Florida Gators till almost the last drive of the game. You're going to see more of the same in the second half. You may see in third down situations, passing situations, Kentucky's been blitzing. You may get more maximum protection from Tennessee and see if they can go to work one-on-one with Timmy McGee and some Kentucky defensive backs.
With this Kentucky 8-man front, it's tough for anybody to run the football, and it's particularly been tough for Tennessee today. Might we see anything different in the running game from Tennessee?
I don't think so. I think Tennessee is going to continue to trap up the middle. It's tough to get outside. They're going to run those draw traps and just those lead counters up the middle. They're going to try to work that conservative game plan that they had. They're going to mix in the pass, and they're just going to have to try to crank something loose. Tennessee has been a big play offense. You know, they usually get a big play out of McGee over the top, or a quick pass he turns into a long run.
Just looking at the individual stats, Tim McGee had 1 catch in the first half for -2 yards, so we might look for that. I also wouldn't be surprised to see Tennessee try to go to their tight end over the middle a little bit, Jeff Smith.
That's true, and the unusual thing here is that the Kentucky defensive coaches said they're not locking anybody on McGee. They're not going to give him any special attention.
Well, we'll see. The halftime talks are over. You heard Coach Foley's analysis. We'll be back for the second half in just a moment at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington. This is Turner Network Television. About just a moment ago, you see the Cats have rushed for 109 yards and passed for 33, but Tennessee just 62 on the ground, 8 passing for only 70 yards. There have been 2 big Kentucky turnovers, and those turnovers have hurt Kentucky once. They gave up a field goal. Tennessee has 42 and 49-yard field goals, and that's the lead in the game, 6-0. Not much happening, and Tennessee's had opportunities, Tim. They had good field position on several opportunities. The first one, when they picked it up inside Kentucky territory and turned it into a field goal. There you see it at the 29 on the left side of your screen. That resulted in a field goal. And then the 5th possession, they also got a field goal out of it. But Kentucky has not had good field position. All of those drives started deep inside Kentucky territory.
No question about it. Field position was a big advantage for Tennessee in the first half. Now, they really didn't take advantage of it. Kentucky defense did a nice job of keeping them out of the end zone. And the Kentucky defense has played well all year long, with the exception of a few big plays. For example, last week against Florida, they let Kerwin Bell throw a 65-yarder over the top to Frankie Neal. Otherwise, they played well up and through the last drive. But the Kentucky offense has got to get some points on the board, and it's going to be a difficult task against this Tennessee defense, which leads the SEC in statistics.
Well, it's going to be Tennessee ball to start the second half. Kicking off for Kentucky will be number 1, Jim Ryder. Jeff Powell is back on his goal line, comes out to about the 2 to take the kickoff. Powell out to the 27-yard line. Pretty good return by young Jeff Powell. He was tackled by 24 David Johnson, also a freshman. There's Tennessee, the results of Tennessee's first half possessions. They opened with the field goal after the fumble. Then they had to punt, then got a field goal, a 49-yarder there after a 9-play drive of only 28 yards. Then you see the rest of the drive, 7 yards, 2 yards, 4 yards. That Kentucky defense was just stuffing them, as you said, Tim. And let's see what Tennessee has done in terms of adjustment here. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Hand off the fullback. One of the first things they do. That's big Sam Henderson. He gets across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Henderson and Powell starting in the Tennessee offensive backfield here in the second half.
Nothing fancy here, just a little trap. Tennessee lineman coming down. Then a pull. Just nobody home. Dunball does a nice job of closing it. Gets his head in front of the ball carrier.
Look at the passing stats. 3 out of 6 for Dickey for only 8 yards. And Ransdell, playing hurt, is 6 out of 8 for 33. 2nd down, 7 from the 31. Dickey's going to throw only his 7th pass of the day. It is complete to Swanson for the first down out to the 44-yard line. Douglas covering on the play. That's the longest completion, certainly, of the day by the University of Tennessee.
Nice job by Dickey. He was looking for McGee all the way. McGee trying to sift through that zone to find an open area in the middle. Nothing there. Dickey came off him, found Eric Swanson.
Swanson, a senior, junior college transfer from San Bernardino, California. The tailback, Jeff Powell. Powell running with quick acceleration. Out across the 50 and inside Kentucky territory goes Jeff Powell.
You're going to see Larry Smith come into your picture from the right side. Blitzing in there. He's picked off by the fullback, Howard. And that gave Powell a little bit of room to cut and slice his way through there for a nice gain. Good leg movement, good high knee action by Powell.
Second down 3 from the 49-yard line of Kentucky now. Tennessee doing well thus far on this drive. And Dickey wanted to get it out to the left side very quickly there. Nobody was home. Busted play. Jeff Smith might have been the McGee in motion. Kentucky with a 4-man rush. Dickey's going to run for it. He got it, and more. Dickey dives down to the 31-yard line. Saw it open up as Kentucky went into their coverage. An 18-yard run by Darrell Dickey and a heady play, and Tennessee on the drive.
Fine job by Dickey. You're going to see that the two-deep zone here by Kentucky underneath. The men underneath are running man-to-man, so they have no vision on the ball. They finally realize that Dickey's running down the field, react to get back into the play.
That time William Howard gets stuffed. He gets maybe a yard. He didn't even get to the 30-yard line. It'll bring up second down and nearly 10 again. 12:46 to go, third quarter. Bob Neal, Tim Foley with you from Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. Temperature edging up toward 50 degrees. It's been a nippy but sunshiny day here in Lexington.
They move McGee around, Bob. They never line him up in the same spot. Sometimes in the slot, sometimes outside. Looks like he's in the slot on this alignment.
Dickey. Here come about 6 Kentucky rushers. Flags go down. Pass is incomplete at the 24-yard line. Penalty markers on the play on the second down 10.
They had good depth. They shot off McGee. He couldn't get it in there as Dickey decided to scramble. One of the Vols grabbed a hold of the Wildcats. 10-yard holding point.
Second down 20 from the 41. Dickey with protection. Screens it out to the left side. That's Howard. He gets to the 36-yard line, and down he goes. Russell Hairston with the stop. Tennessee not with much on that, but they're getting back a little bit to the 37-yard line. And let's watch Russell Hairston, the senior.
Feel very good, but you just got to go ahead up there and take your lick.
3rd and 16 from the 37. Tennessee hoping to get close enough at least for a field goal attempt here, I'm sure. All-out blitz by Kentucky. Dickey rolls away from it. He's going long. Down on the goal line, it is caught by McGee. Touchdown, Tennessee! You talk about Tony Robinson having the quick feet and the ability to avoid the loss. Look at Darrell Dickey here with a big play.
Man-to-man coverage by Russell Hairston. He has him early, but the blitz chases Darrell Dickey out of the pocket. You very rarely see a quarterback come down and then try to throw it long. Usually the defensive back has recovered. But look at McGee go up. What fantastic athletic ability. Goes up, reaches the ball at its highest point, takes it away from Hairston, and nobody else can get there for Kentucky.
For Tim McGee, that's his 13th career touchdown receiving, establishing another Tennessee career mark, and McGee is marking them up. Johnny Major said he's the best receiver he's ever coached. Tennessee going to go for it here, and they don't make it. They were going to go for 2.
Wait a minute now. One guy's signaling up. The other guy's saying no.
Yeah, let's just hold it for a second and see what the signal is here. Tennessee's cheering as though they made it. The officials are still talking to each other, so let's just hold on for a moment. There's a committee meeting. It looks like the conference at Geneva.
Okay, we'll let them decide what they're going to call. Then we'll show you the truth.
Jimmy Harper says it's in for 2. Oh, that made them happy here at Commonwealth Stadium. Tennessee now leads 14-0. Let's watch it again.
Be a tough angle. Powell looking for the cutback. Looks like he's got the room. Looked like there was a fumble there. The official that's right on it is saying no. The other linesman saying no, and now
they said it was fumbled and fallen onto the end zone for the touchdown. That is the call. I think the other man said that one official ruled this. This is my opinion, Tim. I think the official on the goal line said he did not get in with the ball, thereby no touchdown.
Right.
Then the other official said the ball was loose and into the end zone, and Tennessee fell on it, recovered the fumble in the end zone for the two-point conversion. So Tennessee leads 14-0. At least that's what I think happened. We'll be right back. Comes down to Burbage. The 20, out near the 30-yard line. Tim McGee made an incredible catch under pressure. That's not only a personable young man, but the big play man for Tennessee. Tim, you said before the ball game, he's been the spark in this sputtering Tennessee offense. Let's watch this touchdown catch again.
because this one goes out there when there's nothing home. Now watch Harrison. He's not the deep man in that. There are two deep zones there. Harrison's supposed to fill in the middle. And back there in plenty of shape, just didn't play the football. McGee went up and played it, just came up with a big, big play when nothing was there.
Ransdell goes down at the 18-yard line under intense pressure from 77 Cooper and 59 Mark Hovanek. This Tennessee defense now really smelling blood with Tennessee leading 14-0, and the Volunteers are just knocking that young man, Bill Ransdell, all over the place. Third sack of the afternoon.
Claiborne's got his arm around Kevin Dooley.
He's the sophomore backup quarterback.
But Ransdell's going to stay in the football game. He's an inspirational type of leader, and I think even if he's in there handing the ball off, his leadership adds a lot to that Kentucky offense.
You saw Dooley in the middle of your picture. He's number 18. Here comes Logan. And Logan across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. After the sack, remember, Kentucky has to come all the way out to the 40 for the first down. That was second down 20. These cheerleaders are on overtime today because they were at Rupp Arena last night cheering on the Wildcats in basketball as they opened the SEC, not the SEC, but the regular basketball season for the Kentucky Wildcats. Busy, busy cheerleaders. Third down 12 from the 27-yard line. Bill Ransdell. He was looking for 82 Rich Ledford. Double covered over on the near sideline. It goes incomplete. And Kentucky will have to give up the football. And the Tennessee faithful on hand are standing on their feet cheering that Volunteer defense. After all the analysis, Tim, we talked about how Tennessee would run and how Kentucky would defend it, etc. It was a heady, broken play recovery by Dickey and McGee that gets on the touchdown.
That's correct. And every game comes down to a matter of 4 or 5 plays, and your stars have to make the plays.
Benton goes down at the 34-yard line. That was 98 Carwell Gardner, freshman from Louisville. This is Super Football Saturday on Turner Network Television.
Robinson.
So Tennessee has a 14-0 lead over Kentucky after the 37-yard touchdown pass from Darrell Dickey to Tim McGee, then the 2-point conversion play where Tennessee fumbled it but then fell on it into the end zone. We don't have the official ruling on what got the 2-point conversion, whether it was a touchdown or a recovered fumble. We'll get that for you from the official statisticians here as we go along. Tennessee leads 14-0 and are going to move back about 5 yards probably here in this first points. You can see these teams are content to try to run the ball today. 10 passes for the Volunteers, 9 for Kentucky. First and 15 now for Tennessee from the 30-yard line. McGee in motion. Here comes Jeff Powell. 37-38-yard line. Powell gets back some of the 5-yard penalty and just a little bit more. I keep expecting Powell, Tim, to shoot through there as fast as he does, the track runner, and to break one.
Yeah, he really hits the hole. There's no hesitation in the hole. He goes. And an interesting thing is, until he came to Tennessee, until this year, the biggest crowd he ever played in front of was 17,000 at William & Mary.
Second down 7 from the 38-yard line. There's Dickey with an audible at the line of scrimmage. 5th-year senior, 24 years old, son of the Tennessee athletic director. Here comes Powell again. Close to the first down. They love them win or lose here in Lexington.
You know what they love about them, Bob, is they know they get 100% effort every game. Every time we've ever seen Kentucky play, win or lose, they're scrapping, they're fighting, they're in there doing their best. And I think college fans appreciate that a lot more than professional fans do.
Third down and about 1. Tennessee at the 44. 8:46 to go, third quarter. 3 tight ends in there for the Volunteers. Here comes Powell. I believe he got the first down. They're going to spot it across the 45, and that'll give Tennessee the first down. Steve Mazza with the tackle for Kentucky. Wildcats came up there and made the stop, but the ball is across the 45-yard line.
Yeah, by the time Mazza made contact, I think it was already a first down. They're going to call in the change, but no, they're not either. Or are they?
One of the Kentucky line. Play fake. Dickey right over the middle. There's that tight end, Jeff Smith, complete to the 26-yard line. We've been looking for that play all afternoon. Carmichael Caldwell with the tackle. Hairston was out of there. 31-yard gain. In came Raynard Gover, and immediately Dickey went to the tight end in that Hairston position.
It's usually the job of a linebacker in a zone situation to get back. The linebacker's got a hold. No draw. Now turn and run. Get back out of there. Against a passing team, you coach your linebackers after he goes by just to turn around and locate the crossing receiver. And Smith caught it in front of the safeties behind the linebackers. Good throw by Dickey.
Hairston back in there. 1st and 10 at the 26. Jeff Powell inside the 25 to the 22-yard line. As Hairston goes out of there, Tim, they went right down the middle. I guess at him, or at least at his area.
I think so, and I think that that's a play that they integrate in there when they feel like Kentucky may be coming after them, or at least more concerned about being more aggressive. And you know, good call by Walt Harris, offensive coordinator for Tennessee, and he's got a knack of selecting those plays.
2nd down 5 at the 21-yard line of the Wildcats. This is really kind of a last-ditch effort here for Kentucky. They can sorely afford to go down 21-0. Here comes Powell again. This time he does find the running room to the 11-yard line. And Jeff Powell now getting up close to 100 yards. 13 carries, 73 yards for Jeff Powell.
Can you just think if he'd had a couple, 3 years at Tennessee. Look at this mobility. Bang. Change of directions, and a good job of blocking by the offensive line, Tennessee. You know, Wilkerson and Williams just doing a good job of clearing the way there. Johnny Majors has to be happy with what he's seeing right now.
Johnny said he looked at Jeff Powell when he came there from William and Mary, run track, said, I saw that look in his eyes. I knew I wanted him to play for me. 1st and 10 at the 12, Volunteers. Dickey. Quick toss out to the sideline. Touchdown, Tim McGee. The 2nd McGee touchdown catch of the day.
Here's a blitz man-to-man coverage. Russell Hairston on McGee. Hairston lined up the inside. McGee just takes it right now to the outside. You see the distance that he created between he and Hairston. Russell wasn't even close. Touchdown.
Tennessee out to a 20-0 lead now with 6:40 to go, third quarter. Reveille's in for the point after.
Probably the most difficult receiver to cover down there in close on a blitz situation is the slot, because he can go either way on him.
1-point conversion attempt is good. Tennessee leads 21-0 with 6:40 to go, third quarter. We'll be back to Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. All-American at split end, 14 career receiving TDs. He broke the record with 13. He also has a chance to break the record for career receptions. He needs 7 today, has 4 at the moment. And for yardage, he needs 70 and has 54 at the moment. Burbage. Stutter stepped his way into the open. One man to beat. And doesn't beat him. Taking him down is the kicker, Carlos Reveille. But Burbage gets Kentucky into Tennessee territory at the 39-yard line. That was one of the strangest beginnings.
What they were doing, Bob, is they had a screen set up on the left side of the field. You're going to see Burbage come down. The play is designed for him to throw the ball across the field if he doesn't have it. Looks again. Nope. I like this sideline right here. We got some running room, Dad. Here we go. Now get it to the outside. Fake him inside. Get it to the sideline. Nice job of tackling there by the kicker.
And that's Mark Higgs on the carry inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. Might mention the nice job of the tackle you mentioned as you look at the Volunteer scoring drive statistics there. Carlos Revés from Miami, as you well know, Tim, was a running back and linebacker in high school. That's one of the things that Johnny Majors liked about him.
Right. He's a real football player type guy.
I knew you'd like that. A real player. 2nd down 4 from the 33. Here comes Higgs. Tennessee's defense penetrating. Loss of 2 or 3 on the play. 65, Robbie Scott back there. 5:49 to go 3rd quarter. If Kentucky can convert something after that 48-yard kickoff return, they can get themselves back in this ball game. Got a 1/4 and a 1/3 left here.
You win championships on defense. And Tennessee's playing real sound defense. And how about this? 10 of them are coming back this year. Next year, excuse me.
3rd down 7 from the 36. Ramsdell. Incomplete to Higgs. Would have been a 1st down. He simply dropped the ball. Like to have that one back. For the first time in this game today, we see that junior fullback Chris Derry had entered the game. Derry was hurt in the Kentucky-Vanderbilt game that we televised earlier this year. So it's 4th down for Kentucky at the 36-yard line, and I think they're going to go for it. They've got Tennessee at the 36, so 4th down, 7. There's Hairston. He was shaken up earlier. Looks to be okay now. Ramsdell under a blitz. Oh, got rid of it. It is caught at the 32-yard line, but it's short of the 1st down by about a yard. Pitts got it, and Ramsdell was under intense pressure. Everybody limping off the field. Joe Prince limping. Bill Ransdell limping.
Here comes Jones from the top of your screen. They're coming from all over. Bang. Chris White's in his face. He lets it go. Pass is completed. No 1st down yardage, though.
We're going to pause 5 seconds for station identification. Bob Neal and Tim Foley with you. 5:16 to go 3rd quarter. Tennessee 21, Kentucky nothing. 1st down 10. Volunteers at the 32-yard line. Keith Davis. He got outside. He has blazing speed. Not quite enough to break it all the way, but enough to the 37-yard line where Maurice Douglas got him, and there is a penalty marker down.
Keith Davis did a nice job of setting that up. Took that old Paul Hornung dip inside and then scooted to the outside. You know, you mentioned it. They got holding, Tennessee. You mentioned at the beginning of the game, it's a beautiful day here, 43 degrees. And, you know, when you're from Miami, it's never beautiful in 43. And I had forgotten my coat. And I'd like to thank my wife, Connie, and Dick Filer, and my good friends at Delta Airlines for getting it up here to me. So my teeth weren't chattering and my nose dripping during this whole thing.
I'll have to change the slogan from Delta Gets You There to Delta Gets Tim's Coat There. Well, I'm happy that you're happy, because it certainly makes my job easier.
Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
1st down 4 for Tennessee after the penalty. They got the 1st down is the reason for the unusual marking on that, and then had a holding call on the long run. Keith Davis stopped Jerry 4th down attempt and had to turn the ball back over to Tennessee. That was 1st down, and they moved the ball to the 42. So it's 1st and 10 Tennessee now from their own 42.
Burbage talking to Chris Derry, the fullback, who's got a back problem, is what's keeping him out of action.
Dickey's going to throw. Excellent protection. Screens it left side. That's Miller. Miller to the 46. Jim Miller, the junior from Nashville. Bruce Wilkerson, Tennessee's All-American candidate at junior, 6'5", 260, plays right tackle, number 68.
Look how they go from the up position. Slides back. He's got the hands up inside, and there's a flag goes in there. Maybe they decided Bruce had a handful of jersey there. He's working against Scott Stubbs.
Just in time for our ace ISO producer, Skip Ellison, to get his close-up camera. 1st down 20 from the 32 after the holding call.
Whoa.
Keith Davis. Oh, that freshman's exciting. He gets the 1st down. Russell Hairston with the tackle. Keith Davis, Tennessee's leading rusher, with 532 yards coming into this game. He's been playing hurt, had a shoulder injury.
I think the thing you look for most in a running back is his ability to change direction. Look at that. Powell breaks it back inside. Kentucky player slides right by, uses this block well. Hairston fights off the block to make a tackle. Good job by Russell Hairston.
Hairston's really been worked over today. He's been in on a lot of plays, a lot further down the field than he would like to be making them, I'm sure. 1st and 10 from the 46 now, Volunteers leading 21-0. 3:42 to go, third quarter. Dickey threw it up short down here. He had a possible safety valve to Keith Davis, but couldn't get it to him.
He was looking for Jeff Smith across
On passes, so he now has 6 touchdown passes and only 1 interception. Probably the key statistic for Dickey when he came in to replace Tony Robinson.
I think so. When you have a defense like Tennessee has, you just don't want to do anything to beat yourself on offense.
Here comes Davis again. About 4 yards this time to the 43-yard line of Kentucky. 3:27 to go, third quarter. Tennessee on the road to the Sugar Bowl. They need to hold on to this lead over Kentucky. Then next week at Knoxville, defeat Vanderbilt. And Tennessee walks into the Sugar Bowl against probably the University of Miami. That's the rumor that Miami will be invited. I say rumor. About everybody in the world, including you and me, folks, know it's going to be Miami, so I don't know why we say that, but the official bid goes out tonight. 3rd and 7 from the 43. Tennessee picking up the blitz well. This is Tim McGee at the 20. And out of bounds at the 19-yard line goes Tim McGee. Hit by 24, David Johnson. Tennessee really getting on track now. Tim, what has solved this for Tennessee? What solved this Kentucky defense for them?
Well, in this particular play, you're going to see Don Urano trying to cover Timmy McGee. That's just a mismatch. That isn't going to work. You've got to get there in a hurry if you've got that type of matchup. And he froze Urano with a little quick step and then bang, had it across the middle. And they're just doing a better job in the offensive line, I think, to answer your question, of picking up the blitz and giving Dickey time to get the ball to the open receiver.
Great example that time. Here's Dickey under pressure again. It's incomplete, looking for Swanson over on the left side. Number 27.
Everybody had a hard time handling that ball. That looked like a hot one, didn't it?
And there you go. Now, Tim McGee today has 79 yards on the day, and that makes him move into first place in Tennessee career receiving yardage, 1,934. The old mark held by Larry Severs of 1924. Severs played back in the mid-70s at Tennessee.
Credit Tony Robinson with being a big part of that yardage.
2nd down, 10 from just inside the 20. Dickey lofting it down the sideline. Clean scale. Touchdown, Tennessee.
They just decided to throw the ball here in the second half. Once again, you see a blitz coming. Mazza from the outside. This is a perfect throw. Defensive back not in bad situation there, Caldwell, but the ball is thrown perfectly over the outside shoulder. Touchdown. Nice throw by Mr. Darrell Dickey.
Darrell Dickey now with 3 touchdown passes on the day. Reves for the point after attempt. And it's perfect. Tennessee 28, Kentucky nothing. 2:37 to go, third quarter from Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington. Those people there are thinking of the sweetness of sugar right now. This is Turner Network Television. Joey Clinkscales, he just caught his 4th touchdown of the year. Junior from Knoxville, Tennessee. McGee has a couple of touchdown catches. And Tim, it was 6-0 at halftime and really a dog-eat-dog battle with a little bit of the edge going to Kentucky. And then Tennessee has come in here in the third quarter and put up 22 points. Logan on the kickoff return. Down to the 28-yard line. Hard hit down there. So what happened? I'm still asking myself. Good offensive line protection.
Good protection on the offensive line. The big play was the McGee play. That ball, the long touchdown pass, should not have been a completion. And that can really be demoralizing for a defense that's playing hard. Then they get the fumble into the end zone, 2-point conversion. And after that, it was good offensive play by Tennessee, picking up the blitz and just catching Kentuckian defenses that they weren't going to win in.
Logan with about 7 yards on the screen to the right side. McDaniel with a stop for Tennessee.
See, when you call a blitz, and here's the thing that's tough about the Tennessee offense. You don't know, as we mentioned before, where McGee is going to line up. They come out, you got a blitz on. Now, instead of the tight end, who Urano is supposed to cover, you got Tim McGee standing there.
Oops.
Well, you've got 2 choices. One is to get out of it somehow. But if you're going to go ahead and go through with it, you better get there in a hurry.
And they got there a little late, and Timmy McGee took it all the way. 2nd down 1 from the 38. First down run by Logan out to the 45-yard line. Gain of about 7. And Kentucky moving the ball up here to good field position. 1:47 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Kentucky in a real tough situation here, though, is they frankly and obviously do not have an explosive offensive football team, and they're trailing 28-0. Ransdell, playing on a sore knee, is going to have to get it instead of 5 and 6 yards at a clip. He's going to have to take it upstairs sooner or later. He does this time. It's complete to the tight end about the 49-yard line. That's Mark Wheeler. You can see he's playing hurt too. He has cracked ribs. We keep talking about the Kentucky injuries. We're not copping out from the 49-yard line. Ransdell, Tennessee rushing 3. As man open, it's complete to Higgs for the first down. And Higgs gets it to the 38-yard line. We were talking about that great play by Tim McGee that you said really kind of broke the dam here, the great catch. Let's look at it again. This is the first Tennessee touchdown. Dickey under pressure, and he broke away and threw it down here to McGee.
Hairston trying to locate the receiver. Now he's trying to locate the ball. Look at McGee get body position, come back up, and man, that's just perfect. I mean, that's training film material. There's no question about it. Couldn't have done a better job of going for the ball. So many defensive backs find themselves in good position, but then they just don't do a good job going for the football.
1st and 10, Kentucky now at the 38-yard line of Tennessee. 28 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Ransdell, incomplete, tried to find Derry out of the backfield. He was being covered by 45 Darren Miller, but Mark Hovanek came right up in Ransdell's face, applying pressure on Bill Ransdell that time, which is why he had to throw it short. It'll be 2nd down 10 from the 38 of Tennessee.
This is starting to be painful watching Ransdell. He's just banged up all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised. He's got a cartilage problem in his knee. I wouldn't be surprised if he weren't in the hospital on Monday getting that thing fixed.
2nd down 10.
Here they come.
He's going to go long, has his man open, but he couldn't get to the ball. Cisco Bryant had gotten deep on Sims, as you see, just by a step or two. But Ransdell, again, had to unload it in a little bit more of a hurry than he wanted to and couldn't connect.
You have a couple of problems here if you've got a bad knee. First of all, you're not getting out of there as fast as you'd like to get out of there. And look, it took him about 3 steps to stop, and then he still threw it off his back leg in a sense. He never did get his weight out there on his front foot. And it destroys your ability to unload the ball in a hurry.
3rd and 10 again. It is complete to the tight end for the first down. That was Mark Wheeler with the reception. And I believe he got the first down. Let's watch the spot. 8-0. These people wearing orange believe they're on the way to the Sugar Bowl. Tennessee has to defeat Kentucky and then Vanderbilt next week to win the SEC title. Line of Tennessee. There's all that pre-snap motion. Kentucky did a lot in the first half. Ransdell screens it left side. It's dropped, intended for Mark Higgs. Higgs has dropped a couple of them today. Portions of today's game are brought to you by the new Valvoline 4Guard, the motor oil for today's harder-working 4-cylinder engines. Tennessee running on all their cylinders, that's for sure.
Tennessee does some really interesting things on defense. Sometimes they'll line up with 2 ends to one side of the field and the strong safety back to the other side, really confusing the read of the quarterback. And they're tough to get consistent charts on.
Here's the old flea flicker. Ransdell into the end zone. There's going to be no penalty. I thought there would be a penalty marker down there. A Kentucky receiver was bumped. Ransdell just got leveled when he threw the ball. Oh, let's see if we can see this both sides.
The idea is now you want the defensive backs now attacking. Well, Tennessee is a well-coached secondary. They stay back there. They're playing this. Watch Ransdell take it. Man, oh, man.
And it's not in our picture, but down at the goal line, one of the Kentucky receivers, I think it's going to be in this picture.
You see Bryant and Pitts there.
What's this?
83, Pitts, Cisco Bryant. Whoop.
I thought he was interfered with. Oh, no, and Ransdell goes down again. Robbie Scott is all over him. His first sack of the afternoon. You know, this is a cliche. See if you can see this again. Watch for the interference on the left side, if that's what that would be.
Sims chasing. Starting to get his head around. I don't think it really had an impact on the final outcome of the play, so they didn't bother to, they'd call that incidental contact.
It's going to be 4th down. Kentucky is going to turn the ball over. Jay Tesser comes in to punt. 14:05 to go in the ball game. It's 4th down 18 from the 36-yard line. Well, you know, we've said it so many times, I was going to say it's a cliche because it's true. When the team gets behind 28-0 and you got to throw the football, you got to try the kind of plays you don't like to use. And then the defensive team like Tennessee and these fellas love to be in this position or all over you.
They're just laying back there. And the Tennessee defensive coaches, led by Ken Donahue, have done a nice, fine job. I talked to Dick Bumpus before every game. Dick was an All-American type lineman at Arkansas when they were in the Southwest Conference chase every year back in the late 60s. And you see this one sail into the end zone. And was a linebacker for Memphis. And he and Ron Zook and Mel Foles have just done an excellent job preparing this Tennessee defense, and they've played well all year long. This is Super Football Saturday on Turner Network Television.
Kentucky 28-0. LSU in the SEC is 4-1-1. Tennessee 3-1. They'll be 4-1 today unless a miracle occurs, and they think well on their way to the Sugar Bowl. 18 for the University of Kentucky is Kevin Dooley, sophomore, 6'2", from Cincinnati, Ohio. He's played some this year when Ramsdale's been hurt. We'll probably see him the next time Kentucky has the ball. Here comes Jeff Powell. Jeff Powell had only 121 yards total rushing coming into today's game, and he may get up close to that in this one game alone. That's a Tennessee first down. Iowa leading Minnesota 17-3 at the halftime. If Iowa wins that, they win the Big Ten. The big one there in Ann Arbor is Michigan-Ohio State. Iowa would lose, then the winner of that game would go to the Rose Bowl, but Iowa's probably not going to. Utah leading BYU 7-0 in the first quarter. Texas over Baylor. If Baylor beats Texas, then Baylor will go to the Cotton Bowl. But they're trailing. They haven't won there in umpteen million years. Baylor I'm talking about.
I don't think it's been that long.
No, it's,
That's
I think,
a long time.
not umpteen million. But in that neighborhood, it's been a while. Of course, not many people have won in many years in Texas. It'll be 2nd down, less than a yard here for Tennessee with 12:54 to go in the ball game from Lexington, Kentucky.
Automatic.
Here comes Powell, first down, Tennessee. Out to the 44-yard line. And Powell, we're talking about his yardage on the day. He has 85, got 3 or 4 that time. He's got an opportunity for a 100-yard game. And I told you he had 121 yards in his career coming into today's game. Look at Darrell Dickey. The first half, only 3 out of 6 for 8 yards. Second half, wham, bam, 7 out of 10 for 138 and 3 touchdowns. And Tim has explained very well, I think, why that happened.
And he has been on target with every one of those balls. McGee made him look good with that one great catch, but he's done a nice job picking up the blitz and getting the ball in the right spot.
Tennessee with the handoff out across the 47-yard line. Let's see who gets off. I think it's Howard with the ball. William Howard, the fullback. And Tennessee, 1 win away if they hold on to this 28-0 lead here with 11.5 minutes to go in this game. And you almost have to say that's a pretty sure bet they will. 1 win away from going to the Sugar Bowl for the first time since 1969. Here comes Keith Davis. Quickening breaks a tackle. And he struggles close to the first down. Inside Wildcat territory to about the 47. He'll be maybe a yard or short, so short. We are soon to be named best in the SEC and be Sugar Bowl bound.
Well, I think they are certainly dispelling some negative rumors about their offense, about the fact that maybe they're not the best team in the SEC. They can't score points, that type of thing. Because we saw them do a fine job against a Mississippi defense that's been traditionally a pretty good defense these last 2 or 3 years. And Kentucky's defensively is a strong group of players.
Tennessee, 3rd down 1 at the 47-yard line. Here's Keith Davis looking for 1. He gets it. And gets inside the 40 to the 39. We chatted for nearly an hour with Johnny Majors last night in preparing for the ball game, and
And Johnny Majors talked to us, as I mentioned in the first half, about the team he won a national championship with at Pittsburgh. He said that team had some injuries, as Haygood went down as quarterback and Kavanaugh was injured and Husick had to play some, but he had Tony Dorsett. He said, you know, I'm not superstitious, and I don't mind telling you, I have a feeling that this year's 1985 University of Tennessee volunteer football team may very well be a team of destiny. He says, I feel that the players and the staff have made it thus. He really, I thought the way he said it was moving, to be honest with you.
Well, as long as they believe it, that's the important thing. You know what I mean? If they believe that they're fulfilling their destiny, if they believe that they're a team that could win the Sugar Bowl.
Smokey believes it.
You bet. And again, 10 out of 11 players on defense are underclassmen. They're going to be back. And that's not counting all the other folks that play on a consistent basis on defense. And the same on offense. They lose McGee. But if Jeff Francis can develop as a quarterback, they feel like they've got a couple of redshirt receivers that can step in there and eventually replace the vacuum or void that he's going to make when he leaves.
Second down 9 from the 38. Dickey going long. He's got McGee wide open. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line, Tim McGee. That is McGee's 6th catch of the afternoon. He has already broken the Tennessee record for yardage and touchdown career receptions and is 1 catch away now from breaking that career record.
Number 3, Tony Mays should have jammed McGee, broken his stride. Darrell Dickey was looking for Jeff Smith down the middle of the field. He was had attracted the view and the attention of Gover, and Gover didn't get back over in time to make the play.
It is first down goal from the 2-yard line. Volunteers. Howard gets about 1 off right guard. Larry Smith with the stop for Kentucky. It'll be second down goal. This Kentucky defensive team now starting to get worn out. Just the reverse of what happened in the first half when Tennessee's defensive team was on the field a lot.
Jerry Claiborne, this is not the way he wanted to end the season, and this is not a representative performance for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Miller and Davis. Davis denied the goal line. It'll be third down and 1. Stuart Stubbs with the stop for Kentucky. Clock down to 8:48 remaining in the game.
Johnny Majors, Doug Matthews, superstar Timmy McGee. He's telling him, now, look, after this game's over, I want some tight protection. We got to get those buses ready and get out of here. Get back to Knoxville, where our friends are.
Johnny Majors says he's always nervous when he buses into Lexington for this ball game. Well, should be. Dickey on the keeper, faking. Touchdown, Darrell Dickey. First touchdown rushing in the year for Darrell Dickey.
Nice job of coverage by the secondary for Kentucky here. Play pass action, good fake. Foul goes up over the top. Receivers are covered. And here he goes, Darrell Dickey, the fullback. Pow! Drives his way in there. Good effort.
He took all 175 pounds.
He bludgeoned his way into the end zone.
And the point after is good. Tennessee 35, Kentucky nothing. Tennessee has scored a touchdown on all 4 of its possessions here in the second half this afternoon. We'll be right back. So Tennessee moved the ball 80 yards for that touchdown. The keeper by Darrell Dickey. Here comes Logan on the kickoff return. And he gets it out here in good field position to the 37-yard line. Darrell Dickey's thrown for 3 touchdowns, rushed for another. 50-year senior, son of the athletic director, came in to replace Tony Robinson, and everybody said, oh, can he do it? Is he good enough to do it? Well, the answer lies in Tennessee's record, folks.
He just got off the phone with Walt Harris there upstairs, and Walt telling him, don't do that kind of stuff. We don't want you to get hurt.
And here is Kevin Dooley at quarterback now for Kentucky, replacing the injured Bill Ransdell. Dooley throws an interception. It is number 14, Terry Brown, picking it off for Tennessee. And that'll about wrap it up, folks. It was intended for Burbage. Dooley comes in and immediately throws the interception.
Works to the wide side of the field, got a man breaking short, tries to pop it over the top. nobody there. And Terry Brown makes the catch. You start taking chances you wouldn't normally take, obviously, when it's 35-0. You start throwing the ball in places where you maybe shouldn't throw the ball, trying to come up with a big play, trying to make something happen.
So Tennessee 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line of the Volunteers, and they'll probably be content to run the ball now. That's Pete Panuska, who's playing hurt today. Let's look at some of the scores from college football. Michigan State leading Wisconsin. We're expecting to see Michigan State in the All-American Bowl against Georgia Tech. South Carolina leading Clemson. Well, that's an annual war. The winner there will probably go to the Independence Bowl in that game. Syracuse way out in front of Rutgers, 21-0 in the second quarter. Notre Dame 7, LSU 3. That's a third quarter score. Jeff Francis, the new quarterback for Tennessee, you see in there, number 19. He played a little bit last week in the Ole Miss game. Second down, 10 from the 47. It's complete. To number 18, Troy Hale, a sophomore from DeSoto, Texas. So a lot of the bowl pictures, of course, all the bids will go out tonight. A lot of the bowl pictures will be settled today. I think probably all of them. Let me see if there are any that would be, well, depends on that Nebraska-Oklahoma score later this afternoon.
Brian Williams, Steve Mazza coming off the field for Kentucky. They've both had great careers here as Kentucky Wildcats. Both real fierce competitors. Both too small to play, probably not fast enough to play, but they've done an excellent job.
Francis calls timeout as the clock was running down there, the 25-second clock. We'll be right back after Tennessee takes this timeout, leading 35-0. This is Turner Network Television. 5-0 today with 6:49 to go in the ball game. Third down, 6 at the 49-yard line. After that timeout called by young Jeff Francis, he's going to put it in the air again. Avoids the sack, showing good mobility. And it is complete at the 43-yard line to number 23, Wesley Pryor. Pryor, a sophomore, hasn't played much this year. Let's have a look at the SEC standings now, and we're going to look at these as though Tennessee has gone ahead and won this game today, which they're no doubt going to do. Tennessee will go to 7-1-2 overall, but 4-1. That'll give them an 80%, 800 winning percentage. LSU at 750 with their 4-1-1 record, and they've finished with their SEC race. And then Alabama still in it too, and they'll play Auburn next week. Here's Powell to the 40-yard line. So Tennessee has only Vanderbilt in their way. And, of course, the Commodores have struggled all year long. Vanderbilt with an overall record of 3-6-1 and are 1-3-1 in the conference. But as Johnny Majors was saying, Tennessee, he says, doggone it, we have 4 rivalries in the SEC. He says, Alabama's a rivalry, Auburn's a rivalry, Kentucky, and he says, now we got to go face our other rival, Vanderbilt.
You know, and Vanderbilt can put points on the board. That's not a game that they'll take lightly.
That'll be a good game. This is Panuska running the ball on second down, short of the first down to the 36. Next Saturday at noon Eastern time, we will have either the Auburn-Alabama game or the Vanderbilt-Tennessee game. I don't know which one there. Might mention that if the Auburn-Alabama game is televised, that'd be at 12:30 Eastern time because it starts in the Central Time Zone. I won't explain it any more than that, but trust me, it'd be at 12:30. And the Vanderbilt-Tennessee game, if we carry that, would be at noon Eastern time from Knoxville. If you want to know why, it's just because. 3rd and 4 from the 36. Francis, he goes down. Can't find anybody. A little strange to see him throwing here this late in the game. Although you must understand that Johnny Majors wants to be prepared for this next game, and he may be just trying to get the experience, Tim, would you say?
I think so, too. And obviously they didn't have a pass call. That was a check off by Francis.
He wants to throw the ball.
That's right. That's right. And he thought he saw something. Went to the pass.
Here's Jim Asman, the Tennessee punter, punting in place of Bob Garman, who's out with a hamstring pull today. Asman's done a pretty good job. Hasn't had to come into any duty here at all until this moment in the second half. Kentucky coming after it, but Asman gets it away in pretty good shape. Penalty marker is down. Brian Williams.
Well, Williams isn't through, is he?
Good job on the return to the 31-yard line. Penalty markers are down at the point of reception, however. There's a 19-yard return. Brian Williams leads the SEC in punt returns with 11.2 yards per return. He's a defensive end for Kentucky. One of the few defensive ends in the history of the game who returned. Ineligible player, maybe too many on the field. Let's look at some scores while we sort out this penalty here. Ohio State and Michigan. Oh, what a...
Broadcasting rights granted by the Southeastern Conference and the Turner Broadcasting System. In any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the picture descriptions of the accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Southeastern Conference and Turner Broadcasting System Incorporated is prohibited.
That
So
was
there.
good. That was excellent. Pete Panuska with the carry. That's all I have to say about that.
Thanks.
4 minutes remaining in the game. Tennessee 35, Kentucky nothing. Well, I tried to explain the entire analysis of the Kentucky defense earlier and made a slight error, so I guess I can't like your reading of my part of the job there. There's Johnny Majors, who may be on his way to the Sugar Bowl, and he's, as you mentioned earlier, a coach who seems to like the adversity that Tennessee has faced. I'm sure he wouldn't select it, but when it happens, he seems to gut down and go for it. Francis goes down. 55 coming in to make the play. Ranked third right now in the country, UPI poll. They got a chance to win a national championship if the right things were to fall.
I think so. It depends. If Nebraska beats Oklahoma, then I think the national championship will probably be decided on January 1st in Miami. But, you know, Penn State's got to play Pitt, and there's no love lost there. And
speaking of Penn State.
Yes.
We were talking about their weak schedule. They really handed it to Notre Dame last week.
They really did hand it to Notre Dame. And I think the reason probably is that...
they may have been motivated by your comments about the weak
Penn State
schedule.
probably has more Catholics on their team than Notre Dame.
I doubt that. 4th and 17, Tennessee from the 32-yard line.
A lot of Italians on that Penn State team now.
Well, it could be close. It could be close. You're right. Penn State and Pitt have a game. Let's go in Jackson, the Egg Bowl, as they call it. LSU's at Notre Dame. We've shown you scores on that one. Those are the only SEC teams in action this weekend. Here's Asman's punt inside the 20, inside the 10, and down. He's done a pretty good job in a backup role today for the University of Tennessee. 2 minutes, 6 seconds remaining in this game from Lexington. Tennessee 35, Kentucky nothing. By Chris White. Fumbled it again. He fumbled one of his interception returns last week. It's covered by Tennessee at the 6. Chris White with 9 interceptions on the year now. That'll lead the nation. He came into this game leading the nation. And Dooley's thrown the ball twice, and it's been picked off twice. Terry Brown last possession, and now Chris White this time.
Straight zone. Dooley trying to hit a curl or hit a fade, just underthrew the ball, or the receiver ran the wrong route. And bango, the ball comes out. Burbage hits him from behind, but Tennessee has possession.
The record for Tennessee interceptions is 12. So Chris White is 3 away from that. The way he's been playing, that could happen. Tim, you're going to have to give him some more lessons on holding on to the ball here.
Look, he's sticking it out there again. Come on, Chris. Now, come on. Last week we had this same thing.
You had this talk with him last week.
Really? You have to get your mother to tape these games so you can listen to them.
That reminds me of talking to my son, Dave. Dave, we discussed this before.
Look, at how else can he get 12 interceptions unless he gives the ball back to Kentucky again? Remember last week after the fumble, he intercepted another one.
Panuska thrown for loss this time on the 2nd down and 4. Minute 17 remaining in this ball game.
What a remarkable year that young man has had. I remember one year Dick Anderson, a teammate of mine with the Dolphins, was an NFL Defensive Player in the Year. That year it seemed like every time the ball would come out, it'd bounce up in his lap, and every time a ball was underthrown or overthrown, it'd hit him in the chest. He picked off 4 against Terry Bradshaw on one Monday night. Chris White is having that kind of a year.
48 seconds to go in the game. 3rd and 8, Tennessee from the 8. And here goes Panuska. He's open for the touchdown. Tennessee touchdown. Pete Panuska's 3rd touchdown of the year. Tennessee not really running up the score, but they took the interception and had it inside the 5 and just simply ran it in.
You see Kentucky closes on the ball, and a good job of sealing off by the Tennessee offensive line. Panuski saw it outside, 6 points.
Well, I'd like to thank our spotter, Kim Anderson. He's done a great job. There's been 1 million players in this game today. Maybe not 1 million, maybe closer to about 50.
And I'd like to thank Kim Anderson because he acted as my co-pilot on Air Foley on the way up here.
There's David Keith, the actor. You know, he was recently in a cable movie, Gulag. You may have seen him in that and some other movies. He's a native of Knoxville, Tennessee, was a trainer back in the late 60s at Tennessee when he was a youngster. Wasn't really a trainer. He was a ball boy when he was growing up, going to high school in Knoxville. And he travels. He just came back from Europe where he's making a movie and came in and traveled with the team today and hangs out on the sideline with the Volunteers.
Wonder if Johnny makes them wear a coat and tie when they travel.
I have a feeling he does, yes.
Well, you can bet those folks are excited. Talking to all the coaches before the game, Zook and Bumpus and Harris, they were all concerned about this particular game. They knew how good this Kentucky team could be if they came to life. And they've got to feel real good about their players, how they've performed, and now they're on a roll.
We call this the, excuse me, Tim, the beer barrel game, and I just see down on the sideline the Tennessee cheerleaders over on the near sideline, now going down toward the end zone there to the right side of your screen, are carrying the beer barrel from the Kentucky side over to the Tennessee side. This beer barrel game started back in 1925. This is the 60th beer barrel game. It actually has ice water in it. It's what students say. The beer barrel polka. Another clever remark from our director, Ken Fouts, who's been all-American here today. Burbage with the kickoff return for Kentucky to the 12-yard line. 37 seconds remaining in this game. Again, thank our statistician, Alex Vergara, who's done a good job as usual, and booth manager, Nicky Nichols. Been excellent today. Following the game, by the way, we're hoping to talk to Johnny Majors, and then after that, Georgia Tech's head football coach, Bill Curry, will be in our studios to talk to Craig Sager and Alec Hawkins. And Georgia Tech, the probable football opponent for Michigan State in the All-American Bowl, which we'll bring to you on many of these stations on New Year's Eve. And, of course, next Saturday night, Georgia Tech and Georgia from Atlanta on our prime time coverage on most of these stations. Now, Bill Allen, the quarterback for Kentucky. 33 seconds to go in the game. Completes the pass to number 23, Anthony Gardner, and he goes down at the 16-yard line. Well, I don't know who's going to stop Tennessee, Tim. It'll be a surprise to me if Vanderbilt can stop them, because they've really found their offense here in this second half today. Darrell Dickey has played very well, and that offensive line may be the stars of this game. They just really came together in the second half.
They really did, and you once again have to credit the offensive coaches for kind of digesting the Kentucky defensive game plan and coming up with things that would be good against it. You see Ron Zook in front of Ron Zook's the defensive backfield coach in front of Johnny Majors. Kippy Brown.
Our executive producer, Don Ellis, and our producer, Skip Ellison, our director, Ken Fouts, associate producer, Rodney Triplett, and our associate director, Richard Croker. And you take a look at all the other folks who make our TBS telecasts what they are. We're very proud of them. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage of SEC and Southern Independent football at the noontime window here in football telecasting this year. We've enjoyed bringing the games to you. Have another one next week. Clock down to 12 seconds, and it stops there. The pass was incomplete. Intended for Anthony Gardner. Told Johnny Majors when we saw him in the hotel lobby last night, he was nattily attired. I said, "You're going to start calling you Mr. Gentleman's Quarterly." He, of course, always wears the Tennessee colors on the sideline. But you talk about a nattily attired head football coach. It is Johnny Majors. He, of course, credits his wife with, with his dressing style. This will probably be the last play of the ball game. 3rd down 4, unless it's another incomplete pass. Bill Allen completes it to Gardner. And Gardner goes down for the first down at the 27. Clock with 2 seconds. And I think they're going to have to play another play.
You know, Bob, in our preseason show, we gave Tennessee an outside chance at the SEC title. They're calling it the game. What kind of chance would you have given Tennessee without Tony Robinson?
None. You just didn't think they could get through this tough SEC schedule.
I mean, look at that score. It looks like they had Tony Robinson.
Well, we hope to be talking to Coach Johnny Majors in just a moment when we return. Tennessee 42, Kentucky nothing.
Across the country, and an interview with Bill Curry, the coach of Georgia Tech, on the Red Man Report right after the game. But now let's go back to Bob and Tim.
That's not too...
And we're back at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky, where Tennessee has defeated Kentucky 42-0. And we're privileged now to be talking to the head coach of the University of Tennessee, Johnny Majors, who delayed his celebration with his team for just a moment to come to talk with us. Coach Majors, at halftime, it was 6-0 Tennessee, and I'm talking about an old-fashioned Tennessee-Kentucky game. Then you come out and get 22 points in the third quarter. First of all, how did you do that?
Well, Bob, we did it because at halftime, the offensive staff, we talked about it, and the offensive coaches thought the things we were doing that we planned to do were still sound. And the main thing when you go into the Kentucky game, with their top defense, you have to be patient, and you have to execute. You can't get in too big a hurry. You can't try to do too many fancy things. And the great thing about our football team right now is that we're playing opportunistic football on defense, very resourceful, and our offensive people have been very stingy all year long. It was about as pretty a football game as I could expect a team to play that I've coached.
42 points overall, Coach Majors, and an unbelievable second half. McGee came up with some big plays for you, and looked like Dickey got you in some good situations versus a blitz, huh?
Darrell is a very competitive young man. He has a lot of guts about him, and he's been around a long time. He's a good example of an action. Those who stay will play. He's been here 5 years, and he's poised, he's tough, and he doesn't get us in bad places a lot of times either. I think he's thrown one interception since he started for Robinson. His poise was exceptional, and of course McGee is a true All-American football player. The big play he made here on the touchdown pass was a superb play, and he makes plays like that.
Here that is.
It's not unusual.
Coach, here's the play. This is McGee's catch and the replay, if you can see it from your monitor on the sideline there.
I can't see it.
Well, we can just...
I saw it enough out in the game, though. It was great. I love it.
I guess you did.
You saw 6 points of it, right?
Oh, gosh, yeah. We needed it badly. 6 points at halftime was kind of a tight situation because it very, very rarely is that enough to win. But our defense would have won with it today, but I'm glad we got what we got.
We talked to you yesterday about your 1976 Pittsburgh team that won the national championship. How do you compare the character of that team and the character of this Tennessee team?
Well, there's certainly no way I could ever put that 76 team behind any football team I've ever been around. They had great ability. I think it's the most ability of any football team which this country has seen in 10 or 15 years. They had terrific character and pride, and we came losing 2 starting quarterbacks that year, but Kavanaugh came back for the last 3 critical games. This team was a little younger, not as talented overall with the physical people, but by gosh, I've never had a team that has come so far as this team has, and it's just gotten better each week. It's an interesting, most unique football team I've ever been around, I'll say that.
I tell you one thing that's unique, having a guy there for 4 years that didn't really play too much, and all of a sudden he's got 9 interceptions, recovered fumbles, blocked punts. Where's that guy been?
I know you like him, but he just really kind of caught fire, honest to gosh. I think he maybe has spent too much time on architecture. That's pretty tough studies. But he and Dale Jones are from the same high school, and both of them have made tremendous big plays. And I know you like to see those secondary players intercept passes like that, Tim. So do I. That's where I spend a lot of my time coaching.
Of course, we're talking about Chris White, who had another interception today, 9. I think the UT record is 12, if I'm not mistaken,
That's
Coach
true.
Major.
That's true, it's 12.
So he's got an opportunity against Vanderbilt. You wouldn't mind seeing him tie or break that record next
I'd
week,
love
would
to
you?
see him break it because Vanderbilt is going to give us a chance to look at a lot of passes. They've done a terrific job with the passing game through the years, and they also play well against Kentucky. We've got to play awfully well next week to win this championship, and Vanderbilt has never been easy for Tennessee, regardless how they played before.
Well, I don't think you'll hear as much talk anymore about Tennessee not being the best representative from the SEC because of the productivity that you folks have shown in the last 2 weeks on offense. I think that's where the doubts were, right?
Yeah, well, we were a little conservative after Robinson got hurt in the first game against Georgia Tech, and we tied 6-6. Since that time, Darrell has got more confidence, and our team is rallied together. And I just have never been around a team, and I told him before the game today, I've never been around a team that was this unique, that just found a different way to win every Saturday, and I had strong convictions we were going to find another different way to do it today. I didn't have any idea it would be with such a wide margin. And our staff, the offensive and defensive staff have done a great job of using the resources we have, I'll tell you that. They've done a great job.
Coach Johnny Majors, congratulations on this win today. We've been following you right around with the Tennessee Volunteers, and we're not sure exactly what our SEC game will be next week, but it very well may be your game with Vanderbilt. At least Tim and I are getting used to seeing these players in orange.
Well, we hope you're back. If you don't, we're still going to line up and play. Vanderbilt will be ready for us, and whether it's a cow pasture, backyard, or in Neyland Stadium, we're ready to play every Saturday. This group of people, I hope, will be ready for one more big one next week.
Well, thanks for all the excitement you've offered us, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Coach Johnny Majors, head coach of the University of Tennessee Volunteers. Today, big win over Kentucky, 42-0, with 22 of those points coming in that explosive third quarter of play. Next week, we'll either be in Birmingham, Alabama for the Auburn-Alabama contest or in Knoxville for the Vanderbilt-Tennessee battle on our SEC Game of the Week, either at 12:30 Eastern Time in Birmingham or at noon Eastern Time in Knoxville. Today's game has been brought to you by Coors, the beer with a difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. By Gulf, the station with one low price, cash or credit. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. For a thorough test drive, call your nearest BMW dealer.
By Delta Airlines, over 38,000 professionals serving more than 100 cities in the U.S. and overseas. Delta gets you there. And by CNN, the world's most important network.
Speaking for Tim Foley and our entire crew, this is Bob Neal saying thanks for joining us from Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. And we hope you'll be with us at noon Eastern Time next week for our SEC Game of the Week. Coming up next on most of these stations, Super Football Saturday will continue with the Football Action Report.
Good job.
Up closer to the SEC title in Sugar Bowl with a 42-0 thrashing of Kentucky. Next Saturday, the Vols at home against Vanderbilt to close out the regular season. They can take the SEC title.
The cheerleader bowl today, the best-looking cheerleaders in America, Tennessee and Kentucky. I watch 9 games a week, and I haven't seen any cheerleaders compare with either one of these teams.
Did you get to watch any of the scoring?
I watched some of the game, too. Darrell Dickey responded to the challenge, and he made the big plays for him. Tim McGee caught 2 major catches there, one for a touchdown, one to set up another one, and they wore Kentucky out at the end.
Is the cheerleading bowl a draw between Tennessee
It would
and
be if I had anything to say about it.
Okay. 42-0, of course, the final, though. Elsewhere, what's happening up in to 4-1. Here it is Darrell Dickey, who has done quite a job filling in for Tony Robinson, finds Tim McGee, and Tim McGee does quite a job playing you go one way, I'll go the other. He's into the end zone. Volunteers lead 6-0 in the third quarter. They got the 2 points, and then they go up 14-0. Dickey does it again, hooks up once again with Tim McGee. That was the beginning of the end.
By a final score of 42-0. Kentucky's first place in scrimmage told you a little bit about what was happening. Mark Logan fumbles. Chris White recovers for Tennessee. Later, he had an interception, too. That led to a field goal, 3-0. Third quarter, Vols, Darrell Dickey broke open a 6-0 game. Dickey avoids a blitz, looking for Tim McGee at the 6-yard line. He takes it in, and look at that move. 2-point conversion made it 14-0 Vols. They teamed up again. Quick toss towards the sideline. McGee takes it in. Zippo, 12-yard score, 21-0 Tennessee. Later in the quarter, Dickey lofts it into the end zone for Joey Clinkscales from 19 yards, 28-0. Vols win it by a final score of 48-0. And in the night game this evening, the Miami Hurricanes in the early going took a 3-0.
I invited Joshua to
SEC Coach of the Year by the United Press International. Majors has led his team to a 4-1 conference mark thus far, and the Vols are just 1 victory away from a league title and the Sugar Bowl invitation that goes with it. Saturday's regular season finale with the Vanderbilt Commodores will mark the last home game for 2 Vols that have gone from no names to big names this season. Safety Chris White has had a season many All-Americans at his position won't have.